Radiant team pick.
They will go a bit greedy though with that Enigma pick. Can be put in that position 4 role or even the position 3, but it does feel like that's not exactly what you needed here up against Keen Gaming. Though, mind you, Keen doesn't have the best ways to cancel off that black hole this time around, so you've got that, I guess, but
10 seconds.
I don't know. Do you like the Enigma here, John?
It's okay. It plays into your draft quite well, and okay. I think that Medusa actually takes a lot away from that Enigma. You talked about it a bit last time. The Enigma is really picked up for that early push potential. That's not going to be useful against the Medusa. The Medusa will clear out your Eidolons and she'll enjoy it. So, already a lot of value lost in terms of that. You still have great team fight though. Again, that Black Hole, the Doom, the Static Storm, all together it's going to be massive for Sirius if they find that momentum. Again, the emphasis on that Enigma isn't really on that Black Hole anymore, but it's something you really have to maximize anyway. Otherwise, you're really losing out in this pick. And we did see that before in Game 1. This time around, you don't have the Nyx Assassin for Keen. So the Enigma should have an easier time. You're not going to have that amazing way of canceling by just walking up the Black Hole with Spike Carapace. But there are other ways. There are other ways, of course. I don't know if you can slot them in. Like the Bane could be one, but that would mean you're running Core Sand King. Not something we see too often from China.
I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, though, anyway. Like, generally speaking, as long as you pop the Stone Gaze before the Black Hole comes out, it's going to get cancelled regardless.
Yeah, but early on, the Medusa's not going to be tanky enough, and, that Stone Gaze doesn't come out until level 11, level 12 on the Medusa. They do prioritize the other skills first to help farming out. So, it really depends on how Sirius runs it. But we did see in the last game, if you don't really manage to use that Black Hole, well, it could cause issues again. You are depending entirely on the push factor, but the push factor of that Enigma is already kind of weak against the Medusa.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, final pick here for Keen. Plenty of reserve time left for them to make this decision. Does feel like they're missing some kind of safe lane core. Of course, they could just run the Razor safe lane and get another kind of off laner, but...
And that's one thing with our lineup right now. It's really flexible. Like, you could have the Medusa mid, you could have the Razor mid, you could have the Razor off, you could have the Razor safe, you could have the Medusa safe, although that's not as common nowadays. More than likely going to be that Medusa down mid, but again, you do have a little bit of room to play around if you're keen. I am just mildly worried as they don't have the best solution in those team fights. Sure, you have that Sand King and the Medusa, but I feel like it's still kind of lacking. You need something to really dictate the terms of the engagement. And they don't really have that. Again, Sirius, if they manage to get a runaway start, get the EXP they want, get the timings in that Enigma, they can't just be active early on and force the 5v5s, translate that to a fast push, shut down the Medusa, and then you're kind of stuck as Keen, not really having room to do anything.
Well, 5 seconds left.
Dire team pick. Lena.
Alright, they'll go with Lena. That does really bring a lot of questions up. Like, where is she laning? Are they moving the Medusa out of the mid lane, or are they putting the Lena somewhere else?
Okay.
Sirius, they go for the Lycan, one of my favorites, and well, against the Medusa, even with the Morphling, John, we've seen this before. They don't have the DPS to burst through the Medusa's mana shield, especially once she hits that level 25 mark. But why not just try and finish the game a lot faster than that?
Yeah, it does look like Sirius needs to get aggressive early and find the space they want. And is it just me or is Keen Gaming not picking any heroes?
They are not.
Ooh. Well,
that's not good.
You did raise a good point. The Lena is a strange pick. Like, Kaka's on the Lena, so that's an off support Lena?
Yeah.
Pos 4?
Yeah, Pos 4 Lena, Pos 5
Dark. Sand King. I mean, it's great. They did need a way to really pierce that Enigma get the stun off, that's one way. Not the greatest way, but that is one way. I'm not sure about it overall. Like, you don't have the greatest hold for Sylar. He should be able to run around quite freely unless you expend your Shadow Shaman stuns on the Lycan, but you can only hold either the Lycan or the Morphling. You can't hold... Excuse me, you can't hold both.
The thing is, though, you are just trying to buy time for the Ying to just farm up on the Deucer, right? Like, as long as you can just make sure Sirius don't manage to finish this game too early, I still feel like Medusa is still going to be pretty comfortable in the late game.
I mean, it certainly could be, but it's the issue of getting to that late game. I feel like it takes a bit longer for the Medusa to really face off against the lineup Sirius has. Normally, it takes 30 minutes for the Medusa to really start picking up. I'd say in this case, it's not going to be perfect yet for Keen Gaming if they just hold until 30. I think you're going to need to wait until around a 40-minute mark for Team Sirius to start at least faltering on that Lycan, because it still kind of stays relevant into that late game with itemization. So you're going to have to hold out a bit longer until that Medusa is ready and willing to really burn down on these heroes. But me, because I've got the battle pass map loaded and it's also storming in, so I was kind of confused where I was hearing sound effects or actual lightning outside.
Well, hopefully the storm's not too bad for you, John.
Not that bad.
Not King Gaming. You're looking to go into that late game. Ying on that Medusa. So, against the Lycan, we'll see what Sylar can do to really to try and get this game going their way. Of course, this is the final game. No second chances after this. The winner will be straight through to the minor. Loser, unfortunately, will have to just go home. Or just stay at home. I mean, I imagine they're already there. Nobody's going to the minor quite yet.
To battle.
Does look like we have that Morphling mid up against the Medusa. Not a matchup you see too often specifically. We have seen the Morphling mid before, but against Medusa, it should be an interesting one to watch out for. I'm not sure who really wins out in the end. I don't think it ends up being a kill lane, but the Medusa should have a stable amount of control. At the same time, not going to get too threatened by that morph unless you throw the supports in.
I imagine what Ying has a few levels. Like that Mystic Snake is just going to be way too much to deal with for ASD, but find out. I mean, he should be able to find a lot of creep kills and denies just because he has the higher base damage, but again, once you've got that level 2 Mystic Snake, things get a lot more frustrating for the Morphling. See how it turns out. Of course, up at the top lane, it does look like there is a bit of a dive right now onto the Doom, but they won't go too much further. They are running that dual stun lane though, so you go into the Burrow Strike and the Light Strike Rain, and you can dish out quite a lot of damage onto this Doom. Seems like Flame is not going to have the easiest lane in the world this time around.
Yeah, and he actually goes for the level 1 Infernal Blade, not something you see too often, especially when you're in a solo lane. You usually opt for that Devourer for slightly better farm and gain, but it's not going to have that until it turns to level 2, which should be in a creep.
Light Strike Array. Connect, though. No follow-up. Looking into that the east side jungle on the Dire. Firefly is just going to be farming up on that Enigma in the jungle, it seems. And again, it is a very greedy playstyle here from Sirius, just running that jungle Enigma. That looks like we'll have to wait and see if it works out. It does mean Inflame is just going to have to struggle a bit more on the Doom. Meanwhile, Old Chicken looking to go for a dive here onto the Disruptor, and it looks like this could be the first blood. Old Chicken just going to follow him up and will end up finding the final amount of damage he needs to. Keen Gaming do find themselves a very nice start.
Yeah, it's definitely a good start already. I think the one thing that Keen has to watch out for is monitoring that Enigma. By now, they should be aware that the Enigma is jungling. Whether or not they punish is another question. They don't really have the best supports to roam out there. Nothing like an Earth Spirit that can just dip in and out, or a Bounty Hunter even.
Tyler gonna get static linked up now. We have the Disruptor there to help out though, but that Disruptor has to be careful. Plasma Field comes out. Now the Shackles from Dark. They will find him a second time. Tyler gonna make the chase onto Old Chicken, but has no damage to speak of. So he'll just have to let that go. That'll make it a 2-0 now, 2.5 minutes in. It's just one of those things with the Razor. It's just such a strong laner. You can't really get that close, otherwise he just dishes out a hell of a lot of damage.
Definitely so, and that is just really the key part of this year, and here we go again.
Yeah. Just do this over and over again. Don't let Sylar farm up on that Lycan. It's another 112 damage for the Razor, just being taken off the Lycan. It's going to be an interesting development though, because Sylar, if this keeps happening, either he needs to lane swap, or he might need to jungle. The only problem is his jungle's currently taken by the Enigma. And now Shackles come out. Old Chicken though, his damage does end up wearing off, so very least Sylar won't cop too much damage.
Yeah, I wanted to bring your attention to mid Mike ASD. On this Morphling, not having the best time in terms of exchanges. He is still finding the last hits, but he has already burned through his salve, and each time he just fully morph shifts. This Mystic Snake comes out, it's more than half his HP.
He's moving forward onto Ying. Six Snake is available, but he does have plenty of time to react if it does come out. Now ASD playing a lot of games here with Ying. These are some dangerous games to play as well. It looks like bot lane. They found the Disruptor once again, Old Chicken. Healing spree on him on the Razor. Meanwhile, top lane, looks like they are making a play onto Inflame, but Inflame does have a lot of HP. Light Strike Array from Kaka. Didn't actually spot out the Doom TPing out. Missed out on an easy kill as well. Bit of a shame. Nevertheless, a 3-0 still for the side of Keen. They might make it 4 in a moment. Dark again, going to rotate over towards that Morphling. Does find the Shackle, though he does have the Strength Morph already going, so they won't be able to find that kill. ASD, though, still going to cop a fair bit of harassment there from Dark. Certainly not going to be feeling as comfortable in this lane any further.
Yeah, all fairness to ASD, he has been making this play on the edge work out for him quite nicely. He hasn't been forced out of lane just yet. He's still kind of leading in terms of last hits, so he's having a good enough time here down mid.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Although, he is having a great time, but again, you just look back to that Medusa, and although it looks like it's a slow start, I mean, we've seen this over and over again. She just goes to the jungle, catches up, and my real concern here is Sylar's start on the Lycan. He is not having a great old time. He's nowhere near the Helm of Dominator right now. Generally speaking, you'd nearly be there by this point, but he's just not anywhere close. And this lane that he's in now, like, they go for a lane swap, but it doesn't look that much easier to deal with.
Yeah, he's just way too far behind. The key thing for Sirius is that their Enigma is having a free time, so it looks like they are actually putting a lot of hope into Firefly. Get big, but it is coming at a pretty severe cost.
Oh, Inflame. Gonna get static linked up. Of course, Dark will rotate around with the Hex on the Shadow Shaman. Now the Shackles as well, and Inflame. I don't really see him surviving this one. Just a lot of damage stolen there by Old Chicken, and that'll be the 4th kill of the game for him. He's found every kill in this game so far on this Razor.
And that's really what you should expect from a Razor. They're just very lane dominant, so if you give them a good start, it's just going to be very rough. Like, they just really escalate when you give them heroes to feed on.
Well, now ASD is the one to take the bot lane for the Sirius boys. Dark, going to run out at the right time, though there will be a nice morph there from Sirius, and he will find the Hex. Dark, though, will return the Hex, but the Malefice has been placed on the Shadow Shaman. Dark still trying to get out, but there's the Adaptive Strike to finish him off. Though meanwhile, top lane, Old 11, does manage to find Sylar on the Lycan. That is a much better trade once again for Keen Gaming.
Yeah, and again, this Lycan is just going to stay down. We do manage to take that tier 1 down bot, but at what cost is everything for Sirius coming at? It's coming at the cost of Sylar, and the Lycan just doesn't flash farm as fast as he used to.
Gong again. Epicenter Burrow coming out. Lycan. Silent. Just, he TP'd back and he just disappears. Sirius. I mean, they're rotating so much. Trying to find a lane for Silent now. He's switched lane that many times. It's almost like you just let him go. Just tell him go to the jungle at this point. You know, no lane's going to work. They are going to jump on old chicken. He'll be alright though. TP from the Sand King actually cancelled off. Doesn't really matter anyway. Sirius, they are backing off. Back towards their own side of the river. Meanwhile, ASD looking to get jumped at the top lane. Old 11 though. Can't really break the distance right now. So we'll just allow ASD to live. And instead, perhaps we'll chase the Disruptor.
They are spotted out by the ward, so it's going to be a pretty hard rotation. ASD actually walking up though.
Yeah, this man just loves playing on the edge. They won't even bother trying. They just know this Morphling probably going to end up surviving. Just let him be. The bot lane, there is a bit of a dive. They have found the Enigma now. Old Chicken again, stealing a lot of damage off that Enigma, and will take him out. It was in fact Kaka who got the job done on the Lina. 7-1 now, and this is not what you expect when you look at Sirius's draft, but they're going to catch another one out. Not throw out the shackles. They just kind of let the Doom go. But I was trying to say, John, it's not what you'd expect out of a draft like what Sirius has. I mean, they're versing a Medusa draft, and they are falling very far behind.
They definitely are. I'm actually a bit surprised with ASD right now. He is queuing up a wand, and he has 2 Wraith Bands and a Power Treads. I guess that wand should help him out. It's probably one of the heroes that does enjoy that, but I wonder what he's going to go for. Like, what item do you go for in this Morphling to help you out? Is he going to go defensive with Linken's? Is he going to go offensive with, I don't know, a fast SNY? We have seen that, like, once. Is he going to go for that standard Manta style? There's a lot you can really do in this morph, and he looks to be queuing up that Linken's. He is going to go defensive.
Defensive doesn't seem like what you need, though, on Sirius, does it?
I mean, look, I think he's worried about the control coming out. He's worried about that stat blink. But there's so many ways to pop it.
Kaka probably going to end up falling here. They'll commit the wolf form for this just to ensure he gets chased down. Kaka will end up losing his life, and now, well, they might lose the Lycan in the process, though. Yeah, no, they do. Old 11, he'll find it. Now Ying even joining in. Not sure what the Medusa's doing up top. Doesn't even have Stone Gaze available, but she'll make it up, and looks like she'll just get back to farming the creep wave now.
Yeah, and I guess that's still 2 kills going the way of Sylar, and even if he dies, he did get 405 gold from that, so still a win for Sirius there, but it's still a 3k net worth lead for Team Gaming at 10 minutes in, and they're going to go ahead and pressure this top tier 1.
Yeah, how often is it that you see a Medusa pushing towers down at 10 minutes in?
Not very often.
No. Certainly is not a very often thing. And well, mid lane, they have found ASD, but again, he just strength morphs up and he will be able to get away. Now, if I could talk about that Linken Sphere again, John, like ASD picking up a Linken's, what is the point of that?
Honestly, he's still gonna get controlled. Like, let's be honest here. You have so many single target spells that can just pop that Linken's. You have the Eater Shock. You can waste the Shackles first and then go for the Hex, or go for the Hex and then waste the Shackles. It's not that valuable, I don't think.
Well, mid lane, Serpent Wards have been dropped. Firefly will rotate in on the Enigma. Does have the Black Hole available, but it's going to be pretty hard to close the distance. At the very least, they do clear out the Serpent Wards, so that T1 going to be relatively safe for the moment. I guess the reason why I keep bringing up the Linken Sphere, John, is that you're already going to have a hard enough time trying to get rid of the Medusa mana. The mana shield, just getting through that. And of all things, to get a Linken Sphere. Just doesn't seem like the itemization they need, though. Old 11 will get caught out mid lane, and ASD, well, in fact, it wasn't even ASD. The Disruptor does pick up a kill.
That was a bit surprising. He didn't end up trying to dodge that glimpse with the Burrow Strike.
AC now getting static picked up. Old Chicken. There's still a fair bit of damage away, but not really going to lead to anything either.
Ying's actually just staying in the top lane. Like, he's actually just farming the lane and not being punished yet.
Well, they're going to rush him now. Flame will get started. He does commit the Doom as well, but the Stone Gate was already out. The rest of his teammates weren't anywhere near. They just weren't close enough. Now they'll pop the smoke as well, just to ensure he can run away fast enough.
That's not a good sign for Sirius. Like, that's Doom off. That's 2 minutes where you won't have that tool, and that is an opening for Keen that they can abuse. You don't even threaten the Medusa. Like, sure, she pops her Stone Gaze, but I don't think they were going to have Ying in the team fight anyway. Not at this point, not yet.
No, definitely not. Looks like they will start moving towards that T1 mid again, and the Serpent Wards are back up. They will drop it a bit further away this time around, so forcing the side of Sirius to get a bit more close. Take those wards out, though. Well, with Silas dominated creep, and Firefly's dominated creep for that matter. It does make it a lot easier, though. Now Glimpse back. They have found Old Chicken. Mech will not be enough to save the day. Well, it almost looks like ASD. It almost looks like the plan that ASD has to beat the Medusa is pretty much just morph into the Medusa and just be more tanky than her.
That does seem to be what he is going for, and that could work out, but it's a bit strange to say the least. Really did expect a bit of a different build on ASD. Like, we have seen it before. I believe we saw Diffusal Morphling before to great effect against the Medusa. I think in the end that was just a game that didn't work out because of timing. But early on it does kind of work out because, again, as the game drags on, the Medusa just gets a bit too tanky and you don't have the best response. Like, you just don't have anything that burns through this mana fast enough. And Ying is still pretty much top of net worth. Sure, you have that Morphling close behind, 600 gold behind that Medusa, but because rushing that Linken's, I just feel like there are ways for Keen to really abuse that first item.
They're going to catch out Old 11 though. 9 Spiral Strike straight into the Enigma. Hex will come out as well. They should be able to control him up before he can throw out the Black Hole, and they do. Epicenter being committed just in case. They almost actually find Dark on that Shadow Shaman just with the Lycan creeps, but he will be able to get out in time. Meanwhile, Ying being chased down here by Inflame and of course the Disruptor. They don't have the vision to find the Glimpse though, and it looks like Ying will be perfectly fine. He'll be able to get out of there safely.
Yeah, and again, he's back to farming. So he should be able to get that Manta style up soon and actually take out this mid-tier 1. That's going to be very nice for Keen. Gives them a bit more of a safe time down in their jungle.
ASD does manage to find the tier 1 top tower very easily. It's like the Manta will now be up for Ying on that Medusa. What is that? A Midas will come out on the Doom. It's a very interesting item choice again. Like, you are still going against a Medusa late game. Rather than rushing those core items ASAP, the Midas pick, it does seem a bit greedy.
It does seem like they are trying to maybe match that late game output, but that is a bit scary.
Well, Ying gonna get jumped on now. The Doom will come out, and Black Hole is also available again, but they will just burst out the... In fact, not quite yet. The Black Hole will take down Ying. They have found the Doom. The Lycan looking for a chase onto Old 11. Light Strike Array, though, will be there from Karkan. Well, they want to take down Firefly, and they do. He does try and back off in time, though. ASD is making the chase. It looks like they will be able to take him down as well. Old 11 just trapped up across the river on the wrong side, unfortunately for him. They will find him. They don't have any detection, though. They just know he's there.
Could blink out now, but...
He's going for the epicenter. Old 11 jumps in onto ASD. They get the Hex off as well. What a play coming out. Old 11. That's a
What?
surprise play if I've ever seen it. That is just genius.
Like did they not expect a reinitiation? Like he was just there this entire time. They saw the sandstorm. That
wouldn't
is
think.
such a strange thing.
You wouldn't think he would just jump in with an epicenter though.
I mean, he still had it. At the very least, that's something you should have been conscious about as a morph. At the very least, the moment the blink came out, you did have a bit of time to just shift into strength, but I guess it was a bit fast.
Still though, nice pick up there onto Ying in that last team fight. And of course, with the Midnight Pulse and Black Hole, it is a hell of a lot of damage. And it does tend to burn through that mana shield very quickly.
I mean, Ying now is working towards his own Lincolns. So that Doom, probably going to have to pick up the Bridge Creep to get that off.
ASD.
Dire's top
Will
tower
pass.
is under
There'll be
attack.
no defense, it looks like, for this tier 2 top tower. I say that. Some dominated creeps scouting out, but one does get taken out, and yeah, it does look like Sirius just going to accept the fact that this tier 2 is going down. There's not really much they can do about it. They may go and snipe one of the supports that have been scanned out. It looks like they won't even do that.
Dire's top tower.
Now, Keen, they want to jump in. They get a Burrow Strike off onto ASD again, though he'll survive. ASD jumping straight onto Karkan. They will find that kill, and Dark's been gone as well. Old 11 now trying to get out, but the Burrow Strike is there from ASD. Another Burrow Strike coming out from the actual Sand King, but it will lead to nothing. The buyback was there out of Dark on that Shadow Shaman.
That's a nice small win for Sirius. They get 2 clean pickoffs on those supports and force the buyback on that Shaman, so it gives them a bit more space to work with. I believe that was around a 1k swing back to Sirius' side as well. And they also expend and force out that Stone Gaze from the Medusa. So there is an opening here to exploit. The issue is, well, Stone Gaze isn't that massive of a cooldown, and it's just at 50 seconds, so a very small window that they are safe, but I don't think they have enough room to really get that jump back on.
Disruptor does get the banner rune, but it will cost him his life. It's a worthwhile trade though for the side of Sirius. They won't mind that too much.
Radiant's bottom
Roshan now, perhaps going to be attempted from King Gaming. In fact, it will be. They drop the Serpent Wards. This will be a rather quick Roshan, unless Sirius does plan to contest, but I don't believe they actually saw that. They had no wards around the Roche pit.
Radiant's bottom
Instead, though, they will be able to go ahead and claim a tier 2 tower now. Just nobody's going to be there to defend this. It's not the biggest loss in the world for Sirius. I mean, even with that Aegis, it's not really guaranteed that they'll go high ground. There are still 2 tier 2 towers left on the map. Sirius now going to realize the Roshan was taken. Sylar does have the Necro 3 book available, and they are going to make a play right now through the mid lane. Burrow Strike is there from Old 11, just trying to get himself out. They'll go for the tier 1 tower, and it looks like that's all they wanted.
radiant structure.
I thought they were going to go for more when they popped that wolf form, but apparently not.
Yeah, they just clear out that tower quite safely, and I think that's fine, right? You're securing objectives on the map. There is an Aegis on Keen anyway. You're probably not going to be able to force that fight favorably. So you just take what you can, and they still managed to find that objective, but an immediate smoke coming out from Keen.
Dire's middle tower
Ying
is
going to push in that tier 2 mid tower by himself now. His team just going to stand on the left side, just waiting to see if anyone tries to initiate.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Looks
under
like
attack.
there will be no kind of defense, though. That bot tier 3 is starting to get pushed in. There is pretty much a creep wave there already, though. It looks like they aren't going to back off anytime soon from King Gaming. Nobody in the side of Sirius down in that bot lane to really force it in. Ying, with that Aegis, going to feel confident to move in and just try to go for that tier 3 tower.
Dire's middle tower is under
It's a slow process, but they are going to get it done eventually. Burrow Strike, though, will come out. They catch the Disruptor out. Meanwhile, top lane, ASD just pushing in that tier 3, trying to force the defense back out from the side of Keen Gaming, but they drop the Serpent Wards. They're happy to keep going here. This is a good race coming out from Keen, although ASD, he has gotten the tier 3 basically out. He has a Sirius group with him, which makes it a lot easier. Now the Doom comes out onto the Razor. Meanwhile, Stonegaze has been committed by Ying. ASD is still taking that Rax at the bot lane, though. Black Hole comes out, but it is cancelled off immediately, though. With the shackles as well, they will end up finding Firefly. ASD actually just leaving that bot Rax. Does get caught out. Now the epicenter coming out from Old 11. ASD copying a lot of damage, so a nice Burrow Strike dodge coming out from the Morphling. Kaka just trying to back off. Light Strike Ray does come out onto the Doom. They will not find him quite yet in Flame. Still surviving. Old 11 going for the Burrow, but ASD goes for the same. Sylar just trying to get out before Old 11 takes his kill.
That Rax up top, though.
Oh yeah, Sylar actually a nice TP away. He will get out. They will lose in Flame in the end, it looks like. Like you mentioned though, the Rax has gone down at the top lane and that creep wave is still pushing in. So somehow, Sirius, they came out on top. And they will force the defense eventually out of Ying.
Yeah, that's not a good sign for Keen, but that's very well played from Sirius. It's all down to ASD. Really just staying there. He didn't leave at all, and he just opted to keep pushing, and that did secure him one lane of Rax, and now Keen Gaming feels like they're going to be in a back foot. They're going to have one lane consistently pushing in, which means that their slow siege just isn't going to be as easy to pull off. Oh,
good lane.
ASD?
Woo, just gets caught out.
Just like that, again, gets bursted down. He was fully on Agi. And that Lincoln's really didn't feel like it did anything there.
Now Wolf Form being committed. Sylar, he's running straight down to the bot lane. Perhaps assuming he can try and snipe another tier 3 in a Rax, though he has no creeps around. He's going to try and go through the backdoor protection, but in the mid lane, they are starting to dive. Old 11 goes straight onto that Disruptor. Will take him out as well. Static Link is there on the Doomsday in Flame, just trying to make a run for it. Sylar realizing he can't actually go for the Rax and has to back out. Does he even have a TP? He does. He just won't use it. He's going to go after the creep wave at the bot lane and try to force it back, but I don't know. Keen Gaming, do they keep going? They still have the Aegis. Why the hell not? Lincoln's on Ying, going to be annoying to break through, but the adaptive does do it. Now Sylar will TP back. Epicenter, though, goes out straight onto that Morphling ASD.
God.
He does have buyback available, though, to be fair, so he'll be alright. He'll use it immediately. Keen Gaming not planning to back off, though. Again, they still have that Aegis.
They still have the Stone Gaze as well, so really they could just force this in. Sure, their top lane is being shoved in, but they're going to be able to get away with 2 Racks.
Firefly will throw out the dust on Old 11. Now BKB comes out from Inflame. They are going to jump in and they are going after that Sand Though this should be an easy deny off. In fact, no, Guardian Greaves will keep him alive. Now the Static Storm coming up, but the Stone Gaze was already there. They did catch out the Lycan with that Stone Gaze, though ASD, he will clean up Old 11. Now the Aegis should end up dropping on Ying, though no, not quite yet. Sylar has to keep chasing it. Now the Black Hole. Firefly, he found both of them, though they will also find Kaka, the Medusa. Did the Aegis just expire as she was dying?
Earlier on.
Old Chicken will end up getting purged up. It should end up losing his life here. Adaptive Strike to stun him up as well. Meanwhile, there are actually creeps in the Radiant base right now, pushing towards those tier 4 towers. A 4-man wipe on the side of Keen Gaming. In fact, that was a full team wipe if you count the buyback from Old 11. Kind of hard to say who's even winning this game, John. It's a very even one.
I'd say it's definitely very even. It's a slight lead for Keen because, again, they've managed to take one additional objective and they still have a tier 2 out, but really unfortunate for Keen. The Aegis expired as they were chipping away in that melee Rax, and when the fight finally broke out, the patience from Sirius paid off. There was no Aegis to worry about. I feel like at this point, Keen is going to have to wait for that next Roche, which is You know, we're not going to find out until a minute 23. Could be later as well, so it's something they should watch out for. They can't afford to give that one away.
In gaming now, again looping around towards that dire jungle. Butterfly is almost up on Ying on the Medusa, so that'll be a nice addition. Not that he hasn't really needed it anyway, but never hurts. As well as that, hitting level 25 for Ying would be very nice, but he's not really anywhere close to that either.
Shrine is under attack.
Ying or ASD trying to finish off that Ethereal Blade on the Morphling. Really needs to have that damage output.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack. Dire's top shrine has fallen.
KG, they will go ahead and finish off that top shrine.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Ethereal Blade was finished off
Radiant's bottom shrine
on ASD now, so he can blow up the supports in the back, but
Radiant's bottom shrine
old 11
has
going to
fallen.
show himself mid lane. Perhaps baiting in Sirius. They have smoked up. Firefly will jump in with the Malefice, though Yules will be there, and the rest of the team are behind. Static Storm also committed. Are they going to jump from Keen? They did take a bit too long. Laguna being committed on ASD, but he survives. Now Karka just going to be chased down on the Lina, and he is dead. Both heroes go down. No buyback available.
Radiant's middle tower
Yeah, that's going to be pretty scary for Keen. They're going to have to hold out and try to hold that high ground without that epicenter. I think that's been really key to ensuring these team fights go their way. And without that Sand King, it's just going to be a very, very hard time indeed. That dieback kind of cost them a lot.
With that, we'll see if they can defend this spot Rax. ASD doing a lot of work on this Morphling. Firefly looking for that opportunity to throw out a black hole. They will go on the Razor. Now the Doom comes out as well. Ying, though, pops the Stone Gaze immediately. This might be Firefly's opening. There will be a buyback coming out straight away from Old Chicken. I don't feel like they actually need to back, but they did have another 15 seconds from the Sand King not respawn, but nevertheless, Sirius, they will get out. Bounty runes are up as well, so it looks like they just want to go claim them.
That's a very safe play coming out from Sirius, and I think that's pretty respectable, right? They do understand that their opponents are still quite strong. It's not like it's a complete wash so far, and they could probably check on that Roche, which respawned very early.
Karka getting caught out again. The glimpse is there as well. They'll pop the wolf form. They'll make the chase. The Burrow Strike is there. Old 11. He wants to fight, and now the black hole again. Firefly found both of them with the Razor going down. Now Ying is just completely surrounded on that Medusa and ends up losing his life. And suddenly Sirius have got a full team wipe. Only one buyback available, and that's on Ying. Is this game just over?
I mean, Sirius is looking confident. They're just going to go for the push, and at the very least, they're going to get one Rax, but the only thing they have for
No,
defense
they realize.
is this Medusa.
They know. They know they can afford to go for the tier 4s right now. This is their game to win. Sirius, there's the GG well played call. Keen Gaming, they understand the Rax is going to be taken way too fast. And I'm almost glad to see it. I mean, Sirius, they just kind of came out of nowhere through the open qualifiers. Excuse me, the closed qualifiers. Well, they do make their way to the minor, John. Congratulations to them.
Definitely so. Like, they played well this entire time, and, you know, we saw the opposite story. We saw this story earlier in the day. Of course, that was covered in the other channel, but 2-1 again, going the way of Sirius. Reverse sweep for them. And they do get to go to the last minor for a shot to the last major as well. So props to the boys at Sirius, and really unfortunate way to close out that season for Keen Gaming.
Certainly so, but these things do happen. Nevertheless, again, another big congratulations to Sirius. Hopefully they put on a great performance at the minor. Nevertheless, John, that is it for us as well. Any last words before we head off?
You know, I hope everyone has been enjoying the cast. Of course, if you want to give us feedback, if you want to let us know how we did, you can follow us on Twitter and send a message out at MLPDotA and at johnxfire. And we would love to hear from you if you have any comments. Otherwise, that is it for the Chinese closed qualifiers. We do have our 2 teams, so congratulations once again to the winners, which would be eHome and Team Sirius going to the minors in Kiev in the Ukraine. And you will see more. There are more closed qualifiers coming up, so stay tuned for that. And me and Mike will be back for Southeast Asia, I believe, tomorrow. So,
That is correct.
again, feel free to follow us. Feel free to let us know how we're doing, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Yes, thank you for that, John. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow, like John said. Have a good night.